On Ithaca, once ruled by Odysseus, hope has faded and disorder reigns. Time has dragged on since Odysseus's departure for Troy, and his return remains a distant dream. Queen Penelope clings to the belief that Odysseus is alive, refusing to remarry despite mounting pressure. Suitors from across the region invade her home, indulging in feasts and depleting resources while insisting she choose a new husband. Among the suitors is Leodes, who tries to intimidate Penelope's son Telemachus, who resists their contempt but feels the weight of the situation escalate. The island suffers, its inhabitants facing hunger and despair. To buy time, Penelope weaves a funeral shroud for her father-in-law, vowing to choose a suitor after its completion. Unbeknownst to them, she secretly unravels it each night to postpone her decision. Telemachus, confused and restless, grapples with feelings of helplessness tied to his father's absence. One day a stranger washes ashore bearing injuries. Eumes, a compassionate swineherd, takes him in, defying the suitors. The stranger, though silent, does not reveal his true identity but is sheltered secretly, creating an air of suspicion. The suitors are ruthless, treating Ithaca as theirs, already consuming livestock, terrorizing servants and threatening Telemachus. Despite this, Penelope remains resolute. Telemachus, seeking answers about his father, contemplates a journey to the mainland to uncover Odysseus's fate. He wrestles with uncertainty over whether Odysseus succumbed to death as a hero or abandoned them. As the stranger watches, he listens to stories of the Trojan War, tales of the wooden horse, the cunning of Odysseus, and the destruction of Troy. The war brought both glory and devastation, ravaging cities and claiming heroes' lives. Many who returned did so broken, if they returned at all. Through the retelling of these stories, it becomes evident that the ragged man is no ordinary listener. He possesses knowledge that only Odysseus could. Doubt fills the hearts of the people of Ithaca. Legends now seem distant as they yearn for food, peace, and a hopeful future. The suitors mock both Telemachus and Penelope, brazenly discussing power and violence. Yet change stirs in the background. The stranger observes, remembers, and waits patiently. Telemachus grapples with his fears, anger, and the desire to embody the legacy of his father, aspiring to prove himself worthy of Odysseus's name amidst adversity. Penelope clings to hope, steadfast in her loyalty and silent strength as she faces sorrow. The old king Laertes, tormented by grief and madness, mourns the loss of his son, whose return remains uncertain. Amidst this atmosphere of despair, the island seems to pause, anticipating a change, be it through conflict or revelation. The kingdom is on the cusp of awakening. A pressing question emerges: what does it mean to return? Can the past heal the present, or must the island undergo a transformation through chaos? The answer lies with a stranger who has not only endured wounds but also holds Ithaca's fate in his hands. The narrative delves into a kingdom in turmoil due to the prolonged absence of Prince Telemachus and the old king's demise. The queen, desperate to find her son, lives in fear of his safety while facing scorn from those around her who label her a whore and accuse her of being the reason for Telemachus's disappearance. Isolated and burdened by the possibility of losing her son to adversaries intent on harm, the queen feels the weight of her circumstances. Telemachus has matured beyond boyhood and has ventured to the mainland in search of news. The queen receives warnings that keeping her son hidden will breed resentment, urging her to have safeguarded him earlier, which may have ensured his safety. A mysterious advisor pressures her to locate her son and bring him back, asserting that he appears to have abandoned her and their household. Now, with the old king deceased, the kingdom finds itself defenseless, lacking a protector amidst rising threats. The old king's passing symbolizes a pivotal moment, marking the conclusion of an era. Laertes awaited his son's return in vain, ultimately losing hope and succumbing to death. Left alone to bury her husband, the queen confronts a future devoid of her family. The populace mutters that she too will soon be forgotten and unburied, intensifying her sense of imminent despair. Faced with this daunting reality, the queen finally contemplates a choice she has long delayed. As she weaves a shroud she terms a wedding cloak, it becomes clear that she intends to transition beyond her grief. Yet uncertainty looms over what lies ahead, casting a shadow over her decisions and the fate of Ithaca. A mysterious old soldier, a veteran of the Trojan War with scars marking his past, makes an unexpected return. Upon arriving at the palace grounds, he encounters various beggars and scoundrels, observing the cruelty and desperation of those seeking the queen's favor. Among these figures is Antinous, who aims to marry the queen not for her wealth but out of genuine affection. As chaos unfolds, the soldier proves his worth by fending off attackers, sparking both hope and tension by claiming a connection to the late king, having fought alongside him in Troy. The soldier conveys the harsh truths of war and its enduring impact on survivors. He challenges the notion of why men engage in warfare and the atrocities committed, including questioning the guilt of the queen's husband. In turn, the queen grapples with her own guilt, feeling responsible for the land's suffering and her family's strife due to the war. Her son Telemachus harbors resentment towards her, wishing for her to remarry. The queen is tormented by her sorrow and fear that her sacrifices may have been in vain. When the soldier unveils a scar from his past wound and shares insights only someone intimately connected to the king could possess, the queen begins to suspect his possible ties to her deceased husband. Though the soldier attempts to keep this connection secret to spare her further pain, the truth inevitably surfaces. As the prince returns, he is transformed, weighed down by loss. The impending threat of enemies looms as those close to them brace for conflict. Both the prince and queen face difficult dilemmas. The queen must choose between remarrying for the kingdom's security or remaining loyal to her deceased husband. The prince, meanwhile, must avoid those who wish him harm or seek to exploit him. He is warned that public sentiment may turn against him for his past decisions during the war, with his greatest battles seemingly lying on home soil rather than in Troy. The queen, fearing a future lived in despair, is torn between her hopes and fears. As the narrative unfolds, the prince confronts accusations of cowardice and abandonment. His return is met with mixed reactions. He is criticized by some as a failure while others view him as a survivor. He builds alliances for the kingdom's defense against the suitors and adversaries aiming to seize control. The queen provides counsel but remains cautious of deception that could lead to her losing everything. Bow proves to be a challenge even for him, but with surprising ease he strings it, shocking everyone present. This old soldier reveals his identity as Telemachus, the long-lost son of the queen and the legendary king Odysseus. The queen's heart swells with hope and disbelief at the sight of her son, presumed dead or lost forever, now standing before her and ready to reclaim their home from chaos. Telemachus confronts the suitors who have seized her home and disrespected the memory of his father. As tensions escalate, the suitors feel the weight of their arrogance turn into fear. The queen stands resolute, regaining her strength and rallying her son to unite the scattered remnants of their loyal subjects, urging them to reclaim their kingdom with courage. The queen's strategy of using the contest to reveal Telemachus serves not only to challenge the suitors but also to inspire the people who have lost hope. As the atmosphere thickens with conflict, Telemachus gathers other warriors and forms an alliance to reclaim their home from the suitors who dare to assume authority in the absence of leadership. The land's devastation is replaced by a spark of rebellion led by the rightful heir. The struggles faced by the kingdom under deceitful suitors and terrorizing gangs turn into a catalyst for the long-awaited reunion and restoration of order. Amidst the backdrop of warfare and uprisings, the queen showcases her unwavering spirit, reflecting a duality of fierce sorrow and unwavering strength that emboldens her son and inspires the kingdom. The narrative emphasizes the psychological toll of waiting, the complexity of loyalty, and the decision to fight against overwhelming odds. The story crescendos towards a climactic resolution where Telemachus, redeemed by the truth of his lineage, now stands tall as a formidable leader, prepared to take back what is rightfully his, while the queen, fortified by the return of her son and the rekindled loyalty of their people, embodies the essence of resilience. Yet as the tale comes to an end, it leaves the future shrouded in uncertainty, with hope glimmering but the threat of continued strife lingering. The kingdom remains on a precipice, waiting to see if unity and justice can prevail to restore the glory once held under the reign of Odysseus. If you enjoy watching this video, then subscribe to Angel Recaps for the latest movies explanation.